guys, thank y'all so much for coming out and playing for us today.
You're welcome.
It is
very much.
been exactly as much fun as I thought it would be and more. So thank y'all for spending your time with us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. Now, are all three of you guys originally from here? I know you're a Gulf Coast boy over here.
I am. I grew up in Houma, Louisiana. Well, in between Houma and Thibodeau, Louisiana.
Okay.
About 45 miles southwest of New Orleans.
Yeah, and I'm from Bennettsville, South Carolina, which is about a half a day's mule ride from here.
What kind of mule
I'm
you riding?
a half a day walk from here, and I'm in Surfside, so I'm right around the corner.
He didn't let you borrow his mule?
No, he makes me walk.
I love my
Friend is
mule.
that?
Yeah.
I need to lose some weight.
Well, guys, it's obvious for everyone who is around you guys to see how close you are as friends. How did you meet each other? And I know it wasn't probably the mule.
Honestly, no. It was probably Smitty when he moved here.
Yeah.
I had another band we were playing at my other bar. Long story short, he came up and played with us, and then we kind of started something. My dad died, and then he came down there and played the what was it called?
The wait.
Celebration for Life.
Celebration for Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he came down and played that, and then
That lasted 8 hours.
it did.
And then after that, we were a duo.
so
That's how all the Miss stories start.
So we started a duo, and then Kelsey was actually doing pest control at the time, and I have a vinyl shop, and they were coming to get stuff from us. Long story short, we started talking to that, and then we're like, well, come on down, come jam with us. And it started out, Kelsey actually was the drummer of the band. And then we were playing guitars, and then it kind of just, a year in, it kind of just flipped around.
Yeah.
So you guys are one of those cool bands that'll just switch it up on stage just to confuse people, right?
We did that for
a
a
long
while.
time.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we got lazy. We're like, nah, let's not do this anymore. Yeah, I'll just sit here.
Man.
Yeah.
So I love to ask this next question to everybody, and they've all said different answers, and it's been so fun to watch. So I am excited. If you could play anywhere in the world, with anybody in the world, where would be your dream venue or dream gig?
You go, Cal.
Mine's all right. It's heartfelt and somewhat corny. I would love to be able to play a gig today with my granddad, who is like my musical inspiration and shit. But like, I would love to be able to play a gig with him today, knowing what I know now, and that would be my dream gig, and I wouldn't care where it was.
I mean,
Everything y'all say, it's going to sound lame in comparison to that, but I'd still love to hear where you guys would want to play too. I love that.
I mean, that would be, my dad would definitely be the answer to that for sure.
Oh man, I love that.
Cool. That's a tough question for me. Honestly though, if there would be anybody I could literally go back and just chill with and sing and play songs and hang out with, it would probably be Janice Joplin.
Okay.
I dig her, man. Her vibe's straight. She has that freaking South Delta kind of that growl, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm sure we would probably have a lot of fun together. So yeah,
That would be a really great 8-hour concert with your dad and your grandpa and Janice.
that would be
I would pay good money to
be
at
pretty
that.
dope.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Just thinking about my granddad, like just complaining about everything.
Why that girl keeps singing, swinging, keeps screaming? Why
What?
screaming?
No. All right.
Well, that's actually the reason that Janice was such a loud singer. She was just practicing to play with your granddad. That's literally what that was.
Yeah.
The mystery has been solved.
That's
There you
true.
go.
You know, I didn't know until now.
Yes.
I've always wondered why he was so hard of hearing.
Yeah. So one of the things that you can guarantee at a CornBread show is that there's going to be so much diversity and so many different influences in your music. And I love that. But could you tell everybody at home some of the people that influence your music?
The Grateful Dead.
One on it.
I was about to say, I can start with that. I'm actually a punk rocker from the start, and I never listened to the Dead at all, period, until playing with these guys. And
Did they force you or did you do it willingly?
no, I did willingly, and I respect it so much right now. Like, it really is like a complete flip flop for me. I will say that.
That's And then for me, it's like
The band.
I like the New Orleans style. That's just all the not so much the Zydeco, but the New Orleans blues, that kind of stuff. Those kind of that's always been my influence.
Yeah.
Like the one of my biggest influences for me growing up was the street musicians in New Orleans. Just walking through the quarters, walking through the French Quarter, hanging out, sitting in, talking to these guys, getting to know them, and you just, that's that whole vibe.
Well, I love that you brought that up because I always am reminded how lucky I am, but there was never a moment in my life when I didn't know what music was, be it songwriters or street musicians, because I'm from the Gulf Coast as well. So I was wondering from you guys, I know you mentioned your father and your grandfather, but where did music come from for you guys? I know for some people they didn't get a choice. Do you feel like you had a choice?
Absolutely. I mean, like at the time, like it wasn't like I was forced to do it. It was just I grew up. I was raised by my grandparents, and like my granddad was a musician from way back, and our house was full of instruments. It was just so readily available, and that I wasn't forced to do it at all. But it found me, I think. Like it just how you kind of stumble into something, you just fall into something you don't mean to.
Right.
And
Every
then
day
you're
of my
stuck
life.
for life to have to do this thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, my dad, they would practice in the backyard, and I've always had everything available to me, and I didn't care. Like, I really didn't get into music until, like, high school.
Oh, wow.
And, I mean...
Well, you were into punk rock, so
I
you're
was,
used to rebelling against
I was
things.
rebelling at that point. But no, like, I've always had it available to me, and I just didn't care
Right.
until I started caring, and now I'm like, oh, okay. I see where this is going now.
What about you, Gulf Coast boy over here? Was it like the streets of New Orleans that you were talking about, or was it a familiar thing?
Festivals, music festivals, going to fairs, and there's always live music. And then my family's very musical, so cousins and everybody played. Because you're from the Gulf Coast. I mean, it's just part of the culture. It's just you almost kind of expected to know how to do something musically or something that way.
It's in
you
the
know what I mean?
water.
It's in the water.
It's in the water.
It's in the water, boy.
It's in the water.
It's in the water.
It's so cool to hear about your families and to hear about the fact that music was always available for you, because it's actually rare. And a lot of the different interviews we've had here on this series, people have talked about how it was something that they just fell into. And now it makes so much sense when I see the family bond that you guys have. I mean, you've got generations of music in your family, and now your daughters are singing too, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was telling Adam right before we got here, I was like, I came downstairs last night, and she's 7, and I have keyboard set up in my dining room, and she's sitting there tapping, just hitting, and she saw me and she stopped, and I'm like, nah, keep doing that. And she was like, okay, and I'm like, it's always, and it's the same thing with his kids, and
My kids were all about it, like early. And I would actually label the piano with numbers.
Oh, cool.
So they can play, like Stella would play her Frozen little things.
Yeah.
It's just sit there and play that.
Yep.
Pretty good though.
Yeah.
But
My kids are pretty dumb, man.
What songs are they playing?
I can't wait to meet them one day, man. It's gonna be so
one day
awesome.
we can meet them.
They're gonna be like, Dad,
Yes.
everyone thinks I'm dumb now.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I feel so lucky that I use Stranded affectionately, but Stranded in the music scene with people like you guys who have that understanding of spreading music and just keeping it connected. I was wondering if you could tell the people who are watching at home something special about this music scene here that they may not know already. 'Cause you guys have been here how many years?
We've been doing this for 11.
This is
about
our
to say, I think
11th
it's
year.
11th year. I think pretty much, just in my opinion, and they might have different, takes on it, but for me anyway, it's attitude. And I think what it is that the majority of people, I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, these two guys, they're both, Adam's born and raised here, Kelsey's not far from here, but the majority, everybody here, they are here because they want to be here. Whenever, as a musician, you want to be part of this environment, to be able to bring that good vibe to everybody, to be able to keep that vibe, to be able to keep that stoke, to be able to make sure people feel that, and not only the people that come that are tourists that are coming to visit, but everybody who lives here. And for me, it's actually, that's more, with the locals, the local scene. And we have a really, really, really good music scene here and musicians here. And for me personally, the one thing that I love the best is that there's no competition. Like I want all the musicians I know to do amazingly well. That sets a mentality and it sets a tone in this area where the people who come to compete, They don't stay here long because it's not the environment for that. Go to Nashville, go to Austin, go to those places if you want to do that. If you want to come here and you just want to make music and be around like-minded musicians, this is the kind of places you come to.
I actually love that you said that because if I'm being honest, that was probably one of the first things that I noticed about this area. I mean, it was musicians going, hey, do you have food this weekend? I'm having food here. Hey, this gig, I can't do it. Do you want it?
Yeah.
And honestly, that is very unique to this area. What about you guys? Would you like to add anything to that?
At the end of the day, like, everyone's always playing, period. So you can't really support each other,
Right.
I guess. But when they have those nights off, or we get done early and they're playing right beside us at another bar, it's super cool to go back and forth with each other.
Man,
Like,
not only that, we're very blessed in this area to have the venues that we have. Like we have some of the greatest venues that are very like they cater to music. This area seems I don't think people think of Myrtle Beach as being like a live music scene, but it very much is. And like all the venues that we have to where somebody like me can play music year round and not need another job. Like there's not a lot of places that you can do that, especially in South Carolina of all places. Because I don't know. I think I've always felt like Myrtle Beach and Myrtle's Inlet and this area is like a hidden gem if you know how to tame the beast, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a good way to put that.
Yeah.
They could take you.
Well, speaking of demons, I want to ask this next question now. Do you have any advice that you would give for anyone who wants to start in music? Not necessarily just in this scene, but any scene. Because music in itself is a demon and an angel and all these things wrapped up in one package. So what would you say to them?
Play until your fingers bleed, and then keep playing.
Or don't do it.
Or just don't do it. Because
It will grab you.
if you're not going to do that, you have to be. It's a craft. It's a skill. When we get on stage, we're playing gigs, we're doing a show, but in my mind, that's when I get to hang out with my brothers.
Right.
So that's the mentality for me. So it's always fun. It's like I get to go hang out with my family. Okay, cool. We go and one of the guys I grew up with back home in Louisiana, he's a blues player named Tab Benoit. And Tab told me a long time ago, he goes, one of the biggest things that musicians have figured out that most people haven't is how to go to a bar and come back with money.
Yeah.
So it's, you know what I mean?
We're all like, ooh.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the deal, you know what I mean? So, so it's fun, you get paid for having fun and making other people have fun, so.
Don't
So
listen
true.
to somebody and think this is what I want to do.
No.
Like this might not be the thing people want to hear, but Charles Bukowski has a poem, like if it doesn't burst out of you like a rocket, don't do it.
I love
You know,
that.
like just like it shouldn't be something that's forced. Like if you have to force the fact that this problem, it might not be for you. But if it is, and if it has chosen you, I think you should respect it enough to play it like you and not like somebody else.
Guys, I got one more for you today. If you could hear one sound and one sound only for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? I'll start down here with you and put you up on the chopping block.
Totally just a fan noise. Straight, constant fan noise, nothing else. I literally hear songs constantly throughout my whole night, and I can't sleep. I call him, like, what song was that? I have to hum random stuff to him all the time. I'm like, I just need just silence. I love silence.
I love
Or just
that.
a constant noise.
Constant noise. All right, fan. I've never heard that answer
Yeah.
before. I love it.
There you
Kelsey, what you got?
I think just a minor chord.
Which minor chord?
Any minor
No
chord.
preference? Okay.
Any
like it.
minor. I love a minor chord.
I love to tell everyone minor chords make me major, and only like really nerdy people appreciate that.
Get
I
it.
feel like
Get
you'd
it. Get
appreciate
it.
that.
Yeah, get it. Like it.
What about you, my friend?
I don't even know. Just anything you can harmonize to, like just a harmony line, just a melody, just something that you can, either that or silence, because then if it's silence, then my head will fill with music. That's usually what ends up happening. If I'm in,
fan, because
Yeah.
I have my head filled with music,
Yeah.
and I just want just nothing.
if I'm
I'm
in
gonna
total,
take that one level deeper there.
So say if I'm in total silence, then it's just like what goes with me with art. If I stop and I close my eyes, then I can start seeing what I'm actually doing, just like any other kind of artist. It's just another medium. But if I'm in total silence, my brain will start filling in, and with whatever sounds that I need to that I want to hear.
Can I change my answer to a bandsaw?
You know,
Yes.
only for you. Only for you. Why though? You have to give me a good why.
You know, I've changed since we last talked, and I just really feel, you know, that would better depict my future audibility if I could just hear that.
You know what? I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank y'all so much for being here. This has been even more fun than I could have expected. Yeah. And guys, today we've learned about community, we've learned about family, and I know that you're probably sitting at home wondering what sound you would listen to last for the rest of your life. But if you would just take a moment to pause, like this video, follow along so you can get more amazing content like this. We'll see you again next Friday.
Meet me at the courthouse bay. I don't want to wait another day. We can both be back to work by 3. Baby, will you marry me? Both of us been here before. We've ended up with broken hearts and